Most people think heartbreak is just sadness, just missing someone, just the ache of an empty space where a person used to be. But heartbreak costs more than that, far more. And most people do not realize what it is actually taking from them until long after it is over. Today we are talking about the real cost of heartbreak, the parts nobody warns you about, and what you can do to make sure you come out of it with more than you went in with. When you are in a relationship for long enough, especially an intense one, your identity quietly fuses with another person. Their preferences become yours. Their friends become yours. Their routines shape yours. You stop knowing where you end and they begin. And then when it ends, you do not just lose them. You lose the version of yourself that existed inside that relationship. The person who had plans with them. The person who laughed at their jokes. The person who knew exactly what Saturday morning looked like. That version of you disappeared overnight. And the frightening question that follows, the one most people are too scared to say out loud, is who am I now? Losing your identity inside a relationship is one of the quietest and most devastating costs of heartbreak. And rebuilding it, slowly, is one of the most important things you will ever do. Heartbreak, especially after rejection or betrayal, does something insidious to your confidence. It takes the evidence of one person not choosing you and turns it into a verdict about your worth. If they left, maybe you were not enough. If they chose someone else, maybe you were not as lovable as you thought. If it fell apart, maybe something is fundamentally wrong with you. None of these conclusions are true. But heartbreak does not traffic in truth. It traffics in feeling. And the feeling of being unchosen, especially by someone you loved, leaves a mark that goes far deeper than most people admit. The cost to your confidence is real. Rebuilding it requires you to consciously challenge every verdict heartbreak handed you. Not because the pain was not real, but because the conclusions it drew were wrong. One of the most lasting costs of heartbreak is what it does to your ability to trust. Not just trust in other people, but trust in your own judgment. You trusted this person. You believed in what you had. You read the signs and made a decision, and it did not end the way you thought it would. And now a small voice in the back of your mind asks the question that heartbreak always eventually asks. What if I am wrong again? What if I cannot trust myself to choose correctly? What if I open up to someone new and this happens again? What if the cost of letting someone in is just too high? This is how heartbreak compounds. It does not just cost you the relationship. It quietly makes you more afraid of the next one. And if that fear goes unexamined, it does not protect you. It isolates you. And isolation is a far higher price than heartbreak ever asked you to pay. This is the cost most people do not talk about because it feels too painful to admit. Heartbreak costs you time, months, sometimes years, spent in grief, in obsession, in replaying what happened and what could have been different, in waiting to feel better, in being half present in your own life because part of you is still back there, in that relationship, trying to understand how it all went wrong. And none of that time is wasted. Grief is necessary and real. But there is a version of heartbreak where the cost and time far exceeds what the relationship was ever worth. Where you give years of your life, your energy, your focus, your growth, to someone who has already moved on. Time is the one thing you cannot get back, which means the way you move through heartbreak, not around it, is one of the most important decisions you will ever make for your own future. Here is what nobody tells you when you are counting the cost of heartbreak. Everything it takes from you. It also offers you back. Transformed. It takes your identity and gives you the chance to build one that is entirely your own. Not shaped by someone else. Not fused with another person. Yours. It takes your confidence and gives you the opportunity to rebuild it on something more solid than another person's approval. On your own choices. Your own resilience. Your own proof that you can survive the unsurvivable. It takes your trust and gives you the chance to develop discernment. To know yourself well enough to recognize the wrong person sooner. To value the right person more deeply when they arrive. It takes your time and shows you exactly how precious that time is and how worthy you are of spending it well. Heartbreak is expensive. There is no getting around that. But nothing in life that costs this much gives this little in return. The question is not whether you will pay the price. You already have. The question is whether you are going to collect what it owes you. The real cost of heartbreak is not just the sadness. It is the identity you lose, the confidence it shakes, the trust it damages, the time it takes, And all of that is real, and all of it hurts, and none of it should be minimized. But heartbreak also has a return, a depth, a version of you on the other side that could not have existed without going through it. Not despite what it cost you. Because of it, you are not just surviving this. You are being shaped by it. And one day, not today, you will look back and understand exactly what it was worth. Subscribe to Holy Han Family for more content that tells you the truth about love, healing, and everything in between.